All right. So I think we've left this long enough now. There's not an awful lot of us in it this week, but again, we did wrap up a dev chat last week quite late because we had to skip Monday. So I'm not too fussed. People will join in if they can, and if not, they can catch the recap afterwards. So I said to the trust members today that we'll probably just have a open AMA for 15, 20 minutes this week because we did have that recap just a few days ago. So there's not an awful lot to update you on. A few things have moved forward on Leet Chat, but otherwise not an awful lot to kind of bring you a dedicated section on that. So yeah, we're going to get straight into it. We've had no questions submitted prior this week, actually, which is a first. So we might actually be in for a quiet week. So for now, if anybody has anything they want to ask, please drop the questions into the chat and I will answer them. I have noticed some conversation going on in the chat today as well about what we should work on next. And I see Mist is talking about what products that we could vote for. And I think this is kind of super important that you guys keep these kind of conversations going because the feature request dashboard is definitely something that we look at. And in terms of when we are picking up another feature to develop, that's where we're going to look first. So you should definitely keep up with that. Mist, props to you, dude, for bringing that up into the conversation again. So yeah, looking through the feature request dashboard, though, it does look like it's been a bit static for a little while. Phoenix is occupying the top spot with the white paper update. And then it's the timelines right after. Now, obviously, the timelines is what we're developing right now as well. A couple of things I would point to. I think Leet crates, that's probably something worth talking about in the future again. I also see that the auction general marketplace is quite high up. Battle Leet Beta is obviously being worked on. Timelines is already being worked on. The white paper is obviously super important too. So it's definitely worth guys checking in on that. So if you are kind of keen to see something in particular develop next, make use of that feature request dashboard, talk about it here in the chat, get your peers to upvote your suggestion, because when I go down to the bottom of the feature request dashboard, I can see that there's a few good ideas there that are actually pretty low in terms of their upvotes. So I think if this is something that you're passionate about and you've submitted something there, it's kind of in your interest to talk about it, not just here in the Telegram chat, but also in the general discussion over on the feature request dashboard. So for those of you who don't know, if you go to the GMR Center, log in, and then hit that user button in the top right corner, you'll see a link to the feature requests. Now, there's two ways you can drum up a conversation. You can talk in the discussion that is hosted on the feature request page itself. And then, of course, you can actually talk inside the specific request. So like if you've got a request there, tap on into it, and you'll see there's a dedicated chat stream on the right-hand side. Or if you're on a mobile, then there's a discussion button that you can just press and it will bring up the chat. So if there is something that you want to see developed, you have submitted it already to the feature request dashboard, and you're still not getting traction on those ideas, talk about them. Discuss it on the feature request dashboard, discuss it within the feature request itself, and of course, discuss it here too, because that's the surefire way to getting your ideas ranking high on that request dashboard. So it's good to see that you guys are talking about these things. Now, just for those of you who have got requests outstanding, it's in your interest to kind of like lobby your peers to get them to also bring that up as well. Okay, so we still seem to be on quite a low turnout right now. There's not an awful lot of us in here. There's not so many questions right now. So I can see one coming in from Mist. So thank you, dude. Always out there with the questions right off the bat. So Leet Chat is going to be the new center, but if you get Gamerverse, NFL Market Streaming, etc., all in one place, don't you think it will be too much? E.g., actual Gamer Center and make the app messy. Well, that's a good point actually. But if you look at the screens that I've shared from the Leet Chat, what you'll notice is there's a button at the top, and it says Leet Chat on it because obviously we are looking at it from within the context of Leet Chat. But when you actually press that button, it opens up a menu to go into these different areas, if you like. So streaming channels and so forth. And in fact, actually, let me just see if I've got I might actually have the environment running. So let me get a screenshot for you. Yeah, I do. So one moment. So I'm going to drop into our chat a screenshot from, I think, from my profile page, actually. Yeah. Oh, I don't even think you guys have seen the profile page yet. So you get to see this as well. So if you look at the top there in the main navigation at the top of the screen, not the bottom nav, you'll see a button that says Leet Chat, and it looks like a drop down. So I'm gonna quickly open that up, and you can see what it looks like. So I'll just drop a screenshot of that as well, and then you'll start to see then how we can organize the app without it looking messy. So let me drop that in. So yeah, so when you trigger that, you actually get to see the different zones. Now the bottom menu, that's kind of floating. So in the first image, you can see like the profile picture, the home button, the notification button. So obviously, as you navigate to different areas like channels, by the way, we're thinking of renaming channels to communities, but we will see. Games, streaming, token. When you navigate to these different areas, then that bottom menu will update as well. So there'll be different things available to you. But when you press the home button, obviously you go back to what is the Leet Chat home button. So hopefully you guys can see how we can bring together this all-encompassing application that feels intuitive and it doesn't make it messy, hopefully. So, but I understand what you're getting at, Mist, and that's definitely something that we have in the back of our mind as designers and developers. We obviously want good UX. So yeah, let's see. I missed, yeah, dude. I do think this is the one. I think this is something for the first time that I think I'm building in a way that it really future-proofs the platform. So I think when you think about the current version of the application, we kind of built out a bunch of different things, and they feel rather disconnected. Whereas this is going to feel really connected. So even though streaming is in its own zone, so to speak, when somebody goes live, you're going to see that on the social channel as well. So it's going to feel like a much more connected application. So yeah, I'm really confident in this one. But let's see. Let's get this thing built out. Let's get this thing delivered, and let's see how the community takes to it. But I'm really hopeful that this will definitely bring some users. Okay, so DM chat option will be, oh, right. So, okay, so hashtags, I'm not going to implement hashtags because the algorithm that I'm implementing works in a slightly more advanced way than just hashtags. We could bring hashtags in, but it's not something that I think would feed the algorithm, so to speak, but it might help people organize things, definitely. So it's definitely something that we can bring across, but the algorithm is designed to surface leads that we think you'll be interested in. And DMs will obviously come across as well. In the initial release, they're not going to be in the app. They'll be in the main Gamer Center as they currently are. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Frank. So Frank says that hashtags seem like perfect for tagging and organizing and things like this, right? And I agree. I don't think they will feed the algorithm. And maybe we could do that. But I think overall we want to make sure that the algorithm is serving high quality content and not just like people who are able to spam a lot of hashtags. Yeah. So the trending page, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hadn't considered that, Frank. Yeah. So if you search the way search works, again, it's a little bit more sophisticated than just looking for hashtags containing the search term. So we do have a slightly more nuanced aggregator, so that we can provide better search results. So, but yeah, I take it on board. Hashtags are definitely something we can bring across, but not something that's probably going to drive the algorithm. And I think a lot of social networks now are moving away from that. Even though you can still use hashtags on Twitter or X, so to speak, I don't even think they use hashtags quite so aggressively in their aggregation layer for surfacing tweets. Yeah, but it's definitely something that we should consider again, because I hadn't considered it from the perspective of organizing content. So yeah, good shout, good shout. Okay, so I can see Mist is typing. Wells Mist is typing. If anyone wants to just raise a hand and ask a question, feel free. And in fact, I'm going to turn the music on during the quiet time. So Mist is asking, in terms of like an ETA, can we expect it by December? Well, we're in December, but I assume you mean within the month of December. Yes, yes, that's right. So currently the application is very close to being ready. There's a couple of optimizations that I'm working on. The notification layer needs a slight improvement implemented to it, but it's close. It's super close. Now we're working on a marketing opportunity, which we've brought up in the conversation last week too. And there is an opportunity that we might do some co-marketing with this project around the release of Leet Chat. So it could be that we try and time the release with something that we've got cooking on that side of things. But in terms of the actual product itself, it's super close. Now, what I would say is, if let's say it's ready tomorrow, that doesn't mean we have to wait for the release before we can move on to developing other products. So if by next Monday, for example, the product is release ready, the work is done, and perhaps it's being alpha tested, or it's just on hold waiting for coordination with the marketing plan that we are looking at, that doesn't mean that then next week we can't pick a new development focus. So I hear what you're saying, but don't worry, it's not going to hold up the project moving forward. So once this product is ready, regardless of whether it's released or not, once this product is ready, we continue on. So there's nothing that's delayed the release, so to speak. So Frank asks, what changes or challenges, I guess, what challenges or hurdles with Leet Chat caused this to delay by a few weeks? So I think initially I was a little bit optimistic in terms of the release. I think most developers are a little bit like that. So we always think we can do stuff in a few hours that in effect takes a few days, right? So this unfortunately was no different. And hey, look, this is the drama that you guys have to face with having a developer kind of heading up communication right now, because yeah, I shouldn't be responsible for giving out ETAs. I should give ETAs to a project manager or a CEO and let them deal with communications on that front. But what I would say is, that the challenge has been, the biggest challenge for me, or at least the most fun challenge, has been in terms of the aggregation layer of leads. So how we make sure that you're not just seeing leads that you've posted or people you follow have posted, that we're also surfacing content that we think you'll like. So yeah, that's been really fun. And yeah, Frank, you're totally right. Under promise, over deliver. That's totally the angle we should be going for. Miss asks some hint about the marketing thing, agency, KOL, few words on games. So it's another project. That's that much I can definitely tell you. They are an experienced project. Definitely a project that carries some goodwill and some merit within the industry, and we're looking at opportunities to work with them on some co-marketing. They really like the project. They're very interested in what they can do with us for mutual benefits. And right now we're just kind of working through some details. And that's as much as I can give you, Chitter. I can't tell you who it is because until all the documents are signed, sealed, and delivered, I can't really jeopardize it. And I don't really want to get into what kind of project they are either, because before you know it, you know, I've given away too much. So all I would say is that it's a super important opportunity for the project. I think it's going to breathe some fresh air into what we're doing, and it will get new eyes on what we do at Gamer. So we will see. Ryan's spearheading the conversation, and it's going really well so far. That's what I would say. So let's see how that goes. All right, cool. So let's give it a few more minutes. Allow people to drop in some questions. I'll turn this music up again, and let's see how we get on. Yeah, so Mist, they are involved in the industry. That is for sure. Absolutely, they're involved in the industry. And yeah, Frank, I know you caught a bit of flack last week when you said that you've seen evidence of Ryan back at work. I'm not sure why people saw that as a negative. Like I thought that's what people wanted to see, but never mind. Yeah, so Ryan has obviously been deciding, like, in terms of what kind of contribution he can make given the circumstances he's in. And he is currently working on this major project alignment, which is taking up a lot of his time as he's working on an opportunity that might prove like super useful for us. And for me, it's super important that Ryan is involved in that, because this is the first kind of major project that he's headed up since he fell sick. So for himself to understand what kind of contribution he can give, this has been a really timely opportunity for both us as a project because of what it will mean for us, but also for Ryan as well. So Rabbit Eyes is asking whether VCs, venture capital, is something that we might consider. So we are definitely considering all options, I would say, in terms of how we can grow this project. The conversations that we've got going on at the moment are part of that. If this doesn't achieve what we want it to achieve, then we'll definitely be exploring other options. And that includes VCs. So for me, when it comes to like kind of venture capital investments, they're obviously a double-edged sword. You give up a portion of not just the project, but also control of the project. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. But also from our side, we need to be in a certain position. So I think Leet Chat is super important for me because something like Leet Chat is going to give us an absolute kind of like definitive identity of what the project is. Once we've got a game, a integrated social network, it kind of puts us in a better situation. But we will see. No, it's not Floki, guys. Like these are a big project for sure, but they're not just limited to this space. This, but again, let's not dwell too much on that. As soon as I have more info on that, I'll give it you. Don't worry. So the Rabbit Eyes asks whether the app will be downloadable in the App Store. So it will be eventually. It's being built with that in mind. So all the components are portable into React Native because it's built out in React anyway. So there will be some menu transitions that we need to work on, and so forth. So such as like draws and so on. But essentially, this is going to be a web app first. We're looking at ways to encourage people to install it as a web app, but we obviously understand that it needs to be part of the long-term goal to make it an actual application. Okay, cool. So let's give it another 4 minutes. We'll call it at 0:00. I'm going to turn up the music. No worries, Rabbit Eyes. I'm going to turn up the music, and you guys can feel free to drop in a question for an extra couple of more minutes. So actually, it's Rabbit Eyes asks whether I'm holding a bag. No, I don't. I don't hold a bag. I have about I don't know about 2,000 GMR have been donated to me on Gamer Center, but this will all be good. I don't really want to conflict my interest like this. If the project hits the heights that we're talking about, want to get to, then of course I hope that will be compensated appropriately. But until that point, I don't think it's to holding. Okay, right. So with that in mind, I think we are at the end of this week's session. So next Monday, we will be doing this as normal. We will put the conversation out there, and hopefully we can get a few more people on board next time. I think the fact that we had the conversation so late last week has just meant that it's a little bit. Okay, sorry, I feel like there's some technical difficulties here. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Any better, guys? Okay. Right. Yeah. So basically, what I was saying was that I don't think it's appropriate to be holding a bag of such. So what I do have is on the platform. Some people have tipped me, and I think it's about 2,000 GMR. I don't even know. I've not even requested the withdrawal, but when I do, it will just be burned. So my goal here is to deliver a vision on GMR, and I don't want to be looking for like exit points and stuff like this and stuff like that. You know, I don't want my contribution to be kind of tied to anything other than the vision that I'm trying to deliver. And my hope is that we deliver that vision, the project takes off, and then of course we can then start making things right with the people who got us there. So we will see. But no, I don't hold a bag. I don't have any plans on holding a bag either. I know that's a bit of a controversial position in this space. Some people prefer their developers to be invested in the project because it gives some kind of motivation for the success, I guess. But that's just not the way I look at it. So yeah, think of that what you will, guys. But that is the kind of position that I take on that. So hopefully that's not too controversial for you guys. In the meantime, I think we've just about reached the end. We're calling it at 0:00. Next week, hopefully we get a few more people in the chat. Hopefully we'll have some more developments to give you guys. And I think, yeah, you're right, Frank. Exactly. It's just not worth. It's just not worth it, is it, mate? So Frank makes the point that not holding a bag, at least it kind of removes me from the conversation of doing things improperly. Yeah, you're right. Okay, it's been great talking with you guys. It feels a little bit more intimate this week. Actually, there's only a few of us, so hopefully next week we'll get a few more people in, and I will catch you all in the next one. As always, thank you very much, guys.